Hey! Hey, everybody. Welcome to the most wonderful real estate podcast ever. I have a special guest today. Who are you?
I'm Aria Twyford.
That's right. And who am I?
This is Mimi, the Queen of Unicorns.
That's right. I am the Mimi. This is my little beautiful granddaughter. She is my oldest one. And I have invited her on today to do the New Year's podcast. And I just want to show y'all how children are and what they think based on what they're taught. You want to talk about that? Yeah. Okay, so we're going to start off with a toast. We always have a toast, don't we?
Yeah.
So I'm having wine, and what are you having?
Fortune.
And we have cheers.
Cheers.
And then we have a toast. Let's have one more drink. Oh, yeah, to toast first. There you go. Good job. Now, Aria is 7.
Mm-hmm.
So, at 7 years old, kids don't make too much stuff up, and they say what they think.
Yes.
And we always tell the truth, right?
Yeah.
So, today, I want to talk to people because millions of people will be able to watch this video.
Millions.
A lot.
Thousands.
Yep, and it'll be on the internet. And I want to talk to people. This is the first video that's going to play right after New Year's.
Okay.
So remember, we do like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, Happy New Year, and we do New Year's. And so I just want to talk to you all about generational wealth. One of the reasons for me personally to be a real estate investor is to have generational wealth, which means my kids have wealth, and then my grandkids have wealth, and you being my granddaughter, and then who would you help have wealth?
My kids.
That's right. So it would be like Mimi and Pappy, Mommy and Daddy, Aria and Della, Benjamin and Winston, and then your kids, right? And so families are just raised very differently. Like, for example, I was raised in a very blue-collar upbringing, as was Pappy, Bill Twyford. But our kids were raised traveling and just being involved in real estate and doing things their whole entire lives. Now, you are 7.
I'm going to be 8 in January 18th.
That's right, she's going to be 8. Now, tell us about your life. How many times have you traveled?
I think I don't know.
35.
35 times.
Yeah, 35 plane flights. And where do you have houses?
In Florida,
Yep.
in Iowa, and actually 2 in Colorado.
That's right.
This is my house that I stayed at when I was a baby, and I live in one in Denver that I live at now.
And then you have a house in Florida and you have a house in Iowa. So now my grandchildren have 4 houses that they consider. Are you comfortable? We're both squeezed onto this chair together, so we have to stay really tight, don't we?
Yeah.
So my grandchildren have 4 houses that they call theirs because they are theirs. Because when me and Pappy get older, and we'll leave them to you, right? And so we started teaching our kids. When I always taught Ayla about investing, and Bill always taught Will and Chris about investing. And then when we got married, we raised our kids up in the real estate industry. And because we want our kids to be successful and do well as well. But now that we have grandchildren, we're raising our grandchildren up in the real estate investing world too, so that they can have generational wealth. So when Aria was little, can you tell everyone what your first investments were?
My first investments were candy machines.
How many candy machines do you have?
I have like 5 candy machines and 5 toy machines. So I have 10 investments.
That's right. So, and you call them your investments, don't you? Yes. So she has 5 machines where you put in like money and toys fall out. And she has 5 machines where you put in money and candy comes out. Now, do you remember when you first got your first cup? You were only 5. So she got them. So we give the kids for their birthday. So this is what we do. For their birthdays, we give our kids toy machines and candy machines because it starts teaching them responsibility and starts teaching them about money and counting money and having inventory and things like that. And then also, when you go to the houses that we're working on, do you paint and help at the houses?
Yes, I do paint and help out the houses.
What else do you do besides paint?
I usually like grab Dad his stuff and clean out his toolboxes. He has like 10 or 12 big red ones.
He does, right? And you paint like whole walls, don't you?
I know how to paint with a paint roller, a paintbrush.
Do you know how to use paint sprayer yet?
No. He
Not yet.
said he's gonna teach me when I'm 10.
Yeah. I never knew how to use a paint sprayer until I was already a whole adult. Wow. I know. They had electricity then, too. Wow, maybe it's not that old. All right. Oh, this is my child. So I always tell her at every workshop when you come, because you come to workshops and you stay the whole weekend. This child will come to workshops, spend the entire weekend at the workshop, and you introduce yourself to everybody. What do you?
And I shake everyone's hand and I tell them, someday I'm gonna be your coach.
That's right. Okay, right here, spoiled rotten. But you know, not really spoiled rotten because these kids work for everything. So let's tell them about your candy machine. So we started teaching our grandkids, and I mean their dads, their parents do too, but we started teaching them from our point of view about money and getting them investments when they were just 5. So now Della, when she was 5, she has a horse, like a pony that like they have at Walmart, you put money in.
And it gives you like a ride.
What'd she name her horse?
Adeline named it Apple. That was the year when her only word she could say was apple.
That's right.
So she named it Apple.
So she named it Apple.
Of course.
But now, so Aria, so when you were little and you first got your candy machine, every time we would go to Iowa, you would always say, check my investments.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so we take the quarters out, and then what do we always tell everybody what we do?
So we take the quarters out, we count them, and right now I think I have like 200 something
Dollars.
dollars.
But when we take the quarters out, what do we have to do?
We go to a place, buy my investment, buy my candy machine thingies to put in the candy machines. Then we use up my money to buy it.
And inventory.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what happens if you want to keep the money and you don't want to buy inventory?
Then if all your candy machines go out, you won't make any more money.
Right. So if we buy good inventory, meaning if we buy better quality candy, then more people
will want to go to your candy machines.
And then in the big picture, you make more money.
Mm-hmm.
And what about your toy machines?
Oh, my toy machines? So there's like these little window sticky things. There's like octopuses, watermelon, strawberries on them. Mm-hmm.
And how do you find that stuff?
We go to like little toy stores and we put it in and we buy it.
And we also buy it off Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
But you pay for that, though, don't you?
Uh-huh.
You do.
And there's like these little tube thingies with bunny erasers in them. And there's like these lobster thingies that glow in the dark.
So you buy good inventory.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you have good inventory...
For
then,
boys and girls.
That's right. And when you have good inventory, then what happens?
A lot of people will come to your candy machines and then you'll make more money. Then someday you will be able to buy a house.
That's exactly how it starts. So you starting at 5 with candy machines. So right now she keeps all her money and you have it like in a blue bank bag.
Yeah, and like a blue money bag with a zipper.
Mm-hmm. And so every time we go to Iowa, the first thing we do is check the investments, empty out the machines, buy new inventory, and put new stuff in. But then sometimes you get to treat yourself to things because you have money, don't you?
Sometimes, last time I went with Mom, I got to do that stuff. When Pappy had cancer and I got like a little candy or something.
You did.
Mhm.
But Pappy doesn't have cancer anymore, does he? Because what did he do this year?
He followed the instructions, and now his system is like getting stronger and stronger
Yeah,
every
his stem
second.
cell transplant.
Mhm.
And that's a big thing for a little girl to understand, isn't it?
Yeah.
But you
I
were so
understand.
brave, and you weren't able to see Mimi and Pappy for a long time. But you still came and waved at us through the windows, and you
Mhm.
called us every day.
And in Iowa, they put up posters of us doing that.
Oh, that was so sweet that you were part of all that.
Yeah.
So I just feel like sometimes people just don't know when. I know we're sitting in the same chair. This is hard on both of our butts, isn't it?
Yeah.
But Mimi doesn't have another tall chair. I guess we could have moved the computer.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's okay because we are both made out of good stuff, and I won't let you fall off.
Mhm.
So I think for me personally, when I first started being a real estate investor, it was because I was a single mom and I did not want to have to raise Ayla into daycare, and I wanted to be able to be with her and have her with me, and I wanted to raise her myself. So then when I married Bill, he had 2 kids, Will and Chris, and that's your daddy and
I call Chris Cat and her boyfriend Junk.
Cat and Junk.
Because Gregory starts with a G, so Junk. Chris starts with a K, so Cat.
And then what do you call Ayla and Han?
Ayla and Han,
Go on.
I'm going to start calling them lovebirds.
Oh, that's a good name. You call him Princess Han too.
Mm-hmm. Princess Han and Princess Ayla.
So, so when Bill and I got married, we started raising our kids in this industry and having them do what we do and working on houses. Now, all 3 of the kids have rentals. Do you know how many rentals you guys have in Iowa?
So there's the North House, the Poly House, the East House, and the Molly, and 6, I think.
I think that's right. Tell them the names of the houses.
So first of all, the one that we're working on right now is called the Lucy House. Mom made up the name for it. And we have like multiple houses, so we need names to talk about, so we know which one we're talking about.
Right.
And next, we just sold to a nice lady, has, I think, 1 kid or 2.
Mm-hmm.
And
What are the names of all your houses?
so we have the Lucy House, the Molly House, the Polly House, the East West, the North House, the West House. Did I mention that?
Mm-hmm.
That's all 6.
Yeah, she's 7. That's what you guys understand. This child's 7 years old. So she knows all the rentals that they have. You work on all the rentals too when you're in Iowa, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Yes, you do. And she has her own investments and her own candy machines and things like that. And so the reason that we started our kids off, our grandkids, is so that they can learn about money and investing on a smaller scale. I mean, candy machines and toy machines
Mhm.
are a good way to start. Della has ponies and horses and stuff that you can ride.
Uh-huh.
Because we want the grandkids to understand, because when you grow up, I mean, Pappy just going to give you everything, or do you have to show that you're worthy?
I have to show that I'm worthy. And my 2 brothers, they share a claw machine.
They have a claw machine. They have to share that one because they're really little. They're only
Yeah.
1 and 3, so they don't get their own machine yet.
1 and 3 equals 4.
So they share a claw machine.
Mm-hmm.
Because we teach the kids and the grandkids, and Mimi and Pappy aren't going to work their butts off their whole life and just give it to them. And then you just give everything to your kids, they don't always appreciate it, and they also don't know how to recreate that wealth. And you know, there's a saying that like someone like our generation, we give everything to our kids, and then they give everything to their kids, but then their kids go back to having 0 because they were never taught them how to keep going with the generational wealth. So our kids have rentals that they bought themselves. They wholesale houses. They have commercial buildings, and then the grandkids have claw machines and candy machines and all kinds of good stuff like that. That's my girl right here. She is my angel right here. And they have things like that because they're learning. And then when they get a little older, they'll work their way into having their own rental and having their own house and having their own things. So the difference between most people and people like us is that we don't just hand things over to the kids. They all work for it. They understand the value of the dollar. And like you already understand, even since you were like 5 and 6,
And I
that
know,
if you don't put good candy in, no one will buy your stuff.
and I already know the worths of all the coins. So a penny, 1 cent, a dime, 10, and a nickel, 5, a quarter, 25.
Mm-hmm. And you have bags of money, actually, don't you?
Yeah,
And what do you have upstairs in your safe?
money.
What kind of money's in your safe?
Like there's this big book of coins. There's an Iowa quarter and stuff like that, and I have dollars.
I'm gonna put my foot up there. There you go. Does that give you more support?
Oh
How's that? That's what we should have been doing right here, huh?
yeah.
Well, we got it figured out now. Okay. And you've got a safe with your own key.
Hmm. My own key. And
And
my
you-
sister has my old one that was getting too small.
And you collect coins. And you don't really fully understand, but you know that when you get a coin book, you have to fill it full of each of the coins.
Yes, I do.
And you collect those for your future because someday those will be worth a lot of money too, right?
Yeah.
But you get to spend money and you get to travel a lot and have a lot of fun too, don't you?
Hmm. And upstairs, Pappy has pickle jars full of money. Pickle jars.
He does. Don't tell anybody where we live.
Okay.
We don't want them all coming and stealing our pickle jars, do we? So, the point, I think, of having my little peanut here on the podcast with me today is that I just don't think a lot of people. I know with Ayla, I didn't start really teaching her about money and teaching her about things. I mean, she worked on houses with me and she painted and she did a lot of things. I didn't start really teaching her about money until she was like a teenager. I'm like, you know what? These kids are smart. They know how to use computers. They know how to do everything.
Yeah.
So, like, you know what? We're going to teach them when they start when they're 5. And Ayla always had an allowance, and she always had to save up for things that she wanted. She would clip things out of the paper, and like this thing would be $25, and she'd save her allowance every week till she had the money, and she'd go and buy it. So I never just gave my kids everything, and I never gave my grandkids everything. Now, Mimi does give you quite a bit of stuff.
Yeah.
Because I'm the best Mimi ever.
Because sometimes when we were going to the dollar store, like I think it was last weekend, Mimi gave us some dollars to buy for other people. We were Christmas shopping, and we bought for ourselves.
Yes, you did. So Mimi's very good to the kids.
Yeah.
But I also want them to learn how to work for things and learn how to earn money and respect the dollar and understand what money is. And I know they're young, but our kids had their own bank accounts, they had their own credit cards, they had their own debit cards, they had their own savings, and they had that stuff because the Bible says that it's a blessing to create and leave generational wealth. That doesn't just mean to my kids, that means to their kids and then to your kids and to their kids and to their kids. But we can't leave stuff to kids if we don't teach them how to manage it, can we?
No.
Have you learned a lot since you were 5 and 6 and 7 about how to manage your candy machines? Can you tell, like, what have you learned?
I learned like it takes a lot of your money to just make like a few dollars. Mom poured out like almost all of my money to make a few dollars.
Mm-hmm. Well, it takes 4 quarters to make $1, right? Because you stack your quarters in little piles of 4.
Yes.
I think last time you had like 275 or something, which is quite a bit of money because it's yours
Yeah.
after we filled your machines.
Mhm. And I have like this big stuffed piggy bank with a container inside, and it takes money. And that thing is heavy, and it's like halfway full, and it's like this bigger than my head.
Now, do you think that compared to your other friends who are also 7, do you travel more than everybody else does?
Addison's been on like 10 plane flights, and Layla, I haven't really talked to her about it.
But compared to most of the kids that you know, do you travel the most?
I think so.
You do. And do you like pack your own bag and all your own stuff?
Yeah, because sometimes my mom forgets like my stuffed rabbit.
Oh, we can't forget your stuffed rabbit.
Yeah.
Can't forget Bunny, can we?
I brought it to the house today.
That's right.
I have it upstairs.
Show me your rings. We're all bling today, aren't we?
Mm-hmm.
And what do you have on your face?
Makeup.
And glitter.
Mm-hmm.
And tell them about
A
glitter.
day without glitter is like a day without sunshine.
We have glitter on our lips. A day without glitter is like a day without sunshine. So my grandkids know about glitter too, because I'm from the 80s. I was, in my 20s and the 80s. I never outgrew glitter and disco balls.
Ooh, we have one in the room next door that you sleep in. It has like a little mini disco ball, like this size.
And where's
of
our
that.
big disco ball?
Our big disco ball is in Florida.
And what do we do down there when we go to Florida to stay at that house?
We have a girls' party. When the boys are usually working, we sneak a girls' party.
We have dance parties and disco ball parties.
And I say it was like before Halloween or something, and I turned a story, a Give Me My Bones story, into a song. Give me my bones.
You did. We had a whole entire dance party, didn't we?
Yeah.
And we made up our own songs and our own choreographing, and we recorded it, and we did a full album. That's right. That's right. So I appreciate you talking with Mimi today on the podcast.
Yeah, I never stopped talking.
You never do stop talking, but you have a lot of good things to say.
Yes.
Now tell me about your virtues.
Okay, so the school of virtues, every night I think about what I did. Last night I showed a lot of courage.
You did.
Because all the grown-ups were fighting at a party, and I said, well, you guys just stop it. You're scaring the older ones and the younger ones.
That's right. You ended up at a party where the adults were fighting, didn't you?
Yeah. Dad actually...
Don't say anybody's names. You can say Dad, but don't say anybody else's names. So that's a virtue, was courage. Now, one of the things, in addition to teaching our kids and our grandchildren about how to handle money and manage money, is we're teaching them to be godly people. So let's talk about your virtues.
Okay, so the virtues at school, the first of all is friendship, courage, moderation, responsibility.
I don't know all of them. Okay, let's talk about courage. So last night you showed a lot of courage. And what does the virtue responsibility mean?
If your siblings are eating chocolate while your mom and dad are in the room, you don't eat chocolate and you go tell mom and dad. That's responsibility.
Okay, and what's the other virtues?
Moderation.
What's that one?
Moderation is when your siblings are hurting you and you're about to hurt them, but you stop, count to 3, and then you go tell mom. That's moderation.
Okay, that's a good virtue. What else do you have?
Friendship. Friendship is if you see two friends fighting, you could help them get along better. I showed that at the last day of school. There was a little kindergartner. She was, a first grader, because my sister got... Yeah.
You can say she got held back. It's okay.
She got held back. And they were, got in a fight, and they stopped playing with each other for a while, and I helped them get back together. Harper was the other one's friend. She was a friend with my sister, and her friend that I was talking with, her name's Aria too. And when I got them back together, they started to be friends again.
Nice. And what's another virtue?
was the
What was the one that we talked about last week when you stayed up here? Remember you guys were scared and then
bravery? Yeah.
Bravery, that was it. Tell me about bravery. That's a good virtue.
Okay, so if like you sleep in the basement like I do, and the washing machines are going, and you hear like a creepy noise, you go and see what it is. Like a door might be creaking. That happened to me one time, and I shut the door. I was brave enough to go see what was the matter.
That's a really good virtue too.
Mm-hmm.
So let me see. So you guys learn about money. You learn about investments. You have virtues. You love Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
I think that makes you guys pretty special kids. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm made out of good stuff.
That's right. Mimi tells you all the time. Tell everybody else what they're made out of.
You guys are made out of good stuff, and I just know it.
That's right. We are all made out of good stuff, aren't we?
Yeah.
Did you like being on the show with Mimi today?
Y-E-S.
Yes. And we're going to sleep over tonight.
I'm going to sleep in Mimi's room.
Yes.
We talked about it last time, but Mimi forgot to give Harmony a bath.
Uh-oh. I did. So Harmony can't sleep in the room with us tonight.
So sad.
That's okay. Hey, that's okay.
Yeah.
We have so many things. No, it's okay. Don't worry about that. We have so many things to be thankful for. We're not going to worry that Harmony didn't get a bath, are we?
Nah. She could get a bath like next weekend or something. I have 2 breaks off.
That's right. And you guys are off for a while. So, you know, folks, it is so important to raise your kids right. And if maybe your kids are grown up and you feel like you wish you had a do-over and you didn't get a chance to raise your kids right, you know what? Make some differences with your grandchildren. Because you and I will always be best friends.
Yeah. Because when
So when you get older, we're going to be partners in crime. What does that mean? Partners in crime.
That means like when it's nighttime and Pappy's asleep, we could like team up. We could get in our clothes and we could sneak candy. Partners in crime.
That's right. Are you going to be my partner in crime? See, I didn't even have to double check on that. Let's do it.
Slow mo.
See, raising these kids right. So I know that a lot of parents wish they could do over with their kids. And if you're lucky enough to have grandkids, like I'm so blessed to have these little munchkins right here.
I have 3 siblings, 1 sister, 2 brothers.
I know. But you're the big girl, so you got to come up tonight, huh?
Yes.
And, you know, if you feel like you wish you would have done better with your own kids and you have grandkids, do better with them. And if you have great grandkids, do better with them. But the things that you can do, I think the most important thing you can do with kids is teach them how to have a good heart, right? Have virtues, be good to people, and care about people, and stand up for people. And also teach them about money and investing and teach them about things like that. So if your family doesn't have generational wealth, you can break that pattern.
Like last night at the fight, Dad said to Mom after we left, he was standing up to you, to Mom.
That's right. Your daddy was defending your mommy, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So she got to have her first ugly grown-up fight.
It was horrible.
It was so bad, wasn't it?
Yeah.
What would happen if Mimi was there?
Mimi and Pappy, I told everybody to stop or I'm calling Pappy and they'll beat your asses.
Oh. I didn't teach you that word. Well, it's out of the mouths of babes. Ah.
Let's
just don't say that word again.
Okay, I just hear stuff.
I know
like
you
that.
heard it. Now I know. It's okay because you know it's funny that you said out of the mouths of babes, man. If you want the truth, ask a child.
Yeah, ask me. I hear everything.
You do hear everything.
Yeah.
And you know, Aria's been a really good caretaker this year because Pappy, remember, he went through a stem cell transplant and chemo. And you were such a good caretaker and really understanding and able to come and stay and help Mimi and Pappy because you were so mature about it.
Mm-hmm. And wiping the toilet seat off after I go to the bathroom.
That's right. You were just a really good girl. So this right here is what real estate investing is all about. If you're like, I don't know if I want to be an investor or not, right here, this is what you want to do it for. Do it for your kids, do it for your grandkids, do it for your family, do it for generational wealth, do it for your great grandkids. And you can make a difference.
You, not me.
You can make a difference. You make a difference every day, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
So tell everyone thanks for listening.
Thank you.
Hey, you know what? Mimi's going to reach over there. Let's see. Can we grab those papers right there?
Yes. And the binder.
No, just the papers. Okay, let's see. I don't know if your reading is good enough just yet, but let's see.
I could probably read
Let's read one. Let's see if we can read this one. This is a 5-star. See, it has 5 stars. This is a 5-star review from Mimi's podcast. So let's see what this one says.
Whenever I listen to this podcast, I feel
motivated
and
learn something. Learn something
new that I
actually that's a big word. Implement.
I know important and implement.
Good.
In because business. Thank you, Dwan, for making an awesome podcast. That is relevant and
relatable. That's from Wesley Schneider from the United States. Thank you for leaving a 5-star review. And tell everyone, listen to my Mimi's podcast.
Listen to her podcast, people.
Because someday you're going to be teaching it.
Yeah, someday I'll be your coach.
That's right. When you're 15.
When I'm 15.
She's going to start. When she's 15, she's going to start officially coaching, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
So she's 7, so she already knows a lot about what's happening in the world. Imagine the little powerhouse this child will be when she's 15 years old.
That's just 8 years from now.
And you're going to be a good coach.
I'm going to be the best coach ever.
And then I always tell people we'll be back next week, same bat time, same bat channel.
Bye. Same bat time, same bat channel.
And then
wait, bats? So
no,
bats
like Batman.
Oh.
Like same bat time, same bat channel.
Oh.
You might be a little young for Batman.
Yeah.
And I always finish by saying the truth is in the red letters.
The truth is in the red letters.
And what does that mean? When you open the Bible. Well, you don't read the actual Bible just yet. Everything Jesus said is in red letters.
Oh.
So what do you think that means, that the truth is in the red letters?
Like the truth is in God.
Yes. That's exactly what that means. Give me a kiss. You are my princess. I love you so much. Thank you, my little girl. You have been the best co-host ever. So you're a co-host because we did this one together.
We should change the bat channel to Unicorn Channel.
We could. But a lot of people might not know that. We could make a new saying though, couldn't we? Okay, so let's finish off with the truth.
The truth is in the red letters, which means the truth is in God. Later, Pete.
Later, Pete.